side.
The Honorable Pukosa is saying you should have a mask as part of the management of this process. But
yes, I agree. If I can be provided with one, I'll be very happy.
Okay, then
though I'm at the tail end of it.
Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, if I can be provided with one. Mr. Speaker, and I hope the House is well equipped as part of that management, that they should be having masks at all times.
Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, you know, and I want to thank all the members who supported my position as a minority whip, even though I wanted to be minority leader, but I'm glad that I occupied the seat of minority leadership because then it allowed me to be a whip. And I want to encourage all the young women, anguka nayo, that is how you get seats. They are never given you. And Mr. Speaker, the only thing I'd wanted you to clarify is that since then, there has been an issue about broad-based. And so I came in as a minority whip, but I'm seeing that there's a broad-based things. Within the broad-based concept, can Honorable Soro be called the broad-based whip and me the main whip? So that for purposes of clarity, we have Honorable Soro as a broad-based whip and me as the main whip. That was my first concern. The second issue I wanted to raise, Mr. Speaker, is that I've sat here at the position of minority whip. And I don't know who was sitting here, because you know nowadays we have a digital parliament. And the Gen Zs have really taken us speedy. And there could be a Gen Z up here taking a screenshot. And what I found here is a profile of my good friend and brother, Honorable Moses Kuria. Somebody might just interpret that I've come to be whipped to harass my good brother, Moses Kuria. Could I please know who was sitting here and what interest they have in Honorable Moses Kuria? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you so much. I hope you're going to be provided with a mask. And because what is outside of order?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You know, Honorable Millie, the minority whip said that we have cases of influenza and there is no treatment or proper treatment. I think there are guidelines by the Ministry of Health about being given administration of influenza vaccine, which is given to those who are over 50 years and also those who have other underlying conditions. We also have pneumonia vaccine that is also given for the same age bracket and also for children. So I think there are guidelines that are available. I know you are 20. There are guidelines that are provided, and for Kenyans outside there, they should be able to approach their medical doctor or go to the hospital so that we don't have people saying that there is influenza and there might be no treatment. I think that is important to the public, that they know that there is treatment and they can be assisted in any hospital.
Thank you. No, there was no debate about what you said. Honorable Mwenje, you have a last thing on this?
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Allow me to be the first, I think, to congratulate the Honorable Millie on her appointment as the minority whip. Honorable Speaker, I have to get used to having a handbag now next to me here. You know, usually we've just been men here, so clearly the scenery on this side has changed for the better. Honorable Speaker, but I also want to support Honorable Millie's issue that she's the substantive whip and we have Osoro who's the broad-based whip. And we need to understand what this broad-based whip will be doing.
Okay.
I don't know where he is today, but Honorable Speaker, you need to give a ruling as the minority, the substantive whip of the House has indicated. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Okay. Now, the Honorable Nyamai, you want to say something on this?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Just a minute. The minority whip, it is not the way it's done. You take your seat, Honorable Millie. This is not the way it's done. You're going to learn that once you speak, you allow others to also have their say. If there's a need for clarification, we'll come back to you. Now that you have a mask. Go ahead, Honorable Nyamai, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Obviously, Honorable Speaker, first of all, thank you for giving me a chance to comment on this matter. And Mr. Speaker, the House is excited, obviously, about this position of our senior, the Honorable Millie Odhiambo, the main whip. Mr. Speaker, I was just looking at the standing orders, and this is in standing order number 20. And I remember the leadership on the side where the Honorable Millie is and where I am also seated, has been working on the matter of making sure that the Honorable Millie sits in that position. And she just told us that, in quotes, Mr. Speaker, alianguka nayo. And she has advised us all we need to do, those who follow her, we just anguka nayo, anguka nayo, anguka nayo. Mr. Speaker, is that the way to go? Do we lobby? Or we just wait until they slumber a bit and then we anguka nayo, the way Honorable Millie did? I really congratulate her, but I want to know, Mr. Speaker, please guide us. Will we follow what the Honorable Millie has told us, or will follow the standing orders? Because there is something, Honorable Speaker, which I also want to anguka nayo. So which direction do I take, Mr. Speaker?
Mayaka.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, first of all, allow me, as a mentee of the Honorable Millie, to congratulate her on the new position, which we are very proud as, especially the women in this parliament, because now we have two of our outstanding ranking members who are women as part of the House leadership, and for us it's a moment of pride. But also in terms of the broad-based government of national unity, I don't even know the right terms, but Honorable Speaker, we are operating in extraordinary times in this country. And so Honorable Millie is very right in seeking directions on this matter, so that we can know how do we treat her and Osoro. Who is the broad-based whip and who is the substantive whip in the House? And Honorable Speaker, as I finish, I just want to tell the Honorable Rachel Nyamai, I know she's our ranking member, but you know, when we are dancing that anguka nayo, we do it in italics. You don't fall like you're falling in water. You slide as you're falling. I thank you.
I didn't see you slide, though. Honorable Naomi Wako.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. May I also take the same opportunity to congratulate our senior Honorable Millie for the seat that she's occupying, and she seems to be occupying it fully. We are all proud of you as women in leadership. We congratulated you. We are all proud of you. And I'm happy that I have a colleague now that we can relate to. Just to add on to that, Honorable Speaker, Osoro is our Honorable Osoro is the majority chief whip. And you are the minority whip. And I know I am not the speaker, but I'm speaking on behalf of my colleagues. So,
the Honorable Naomi Wako will be listened to like others.
Yes. The standing order says that. The standing orders recognizes that, and we serve in those capacities. That is being supported by our standing orders.
Thank you.
So Honorable Osoro remains the majority chief whip, and Honorable Millie is the minority whip. Thank you.
Honorable Jan Kihara. Honorable Jan Kihara, all of you are on a position.
So please, try as much as you can, so that now, because we are looking at you as now as.
Honorable Murugara.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. So, Speaker, let me congratulate Millie, great lady who is now the whip from the minority side, I think you deserve it in no ways. You've contributed a lot to this house and the country, and we will cherish as you continue to serve us.
Thank you.
As regards our position, the term broad-based government, and the word government is a term of art. It refers to the executive. It does not refer to this house at all. So the position remains what has always been prevalent here. We have the majority side and the minority side, and the positions of leadership remain as they have always been.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this chance so that I first of all congratulate our senior here, Honorable Mary Odhiambo. Thank you so much for portraying your capacity to carry out the task that you were given. But Mr. Speaker, if it were not for just getting this time to debate a point that already has an answer, I want to say, and I want to support my colleague here, that the issue of broad-based is a word that came, or a statement that came from the executive. It has no legal basis when it comes to our parliamentary work that we are supposed to do. So, Mr. Speaker, to me, it is within the standing orders that we have the majority whip and the minority side. And therefore, my dear sister and colleague, continue being the minority whip.
Thank you. The member for Nambale. 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to thank Honorable Millie for the chance to serve as the whip in this house. But Honorable Speaker, having listened to all the speakers who have said, who have contributed on this particular debate, and considering the position where I sit personally, or the position I am in this particular parliament as an independent, we have heard that we have majority whip, we have broad-based whip, and now as independents, Mr. Speaker, please consider us and also give us a whip. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Member for Kabuchai.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think Kabuchai cannot be left out in congratulating Honorable Millie in her new capacity. We know, Mr. Speaker, that she's equal to the task of carrying the responsibility of that position, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I've had a lot of respect for her. Before I became a member of parliament, while at home I've been watching her as she carries on all her political duties in this house. I believe, Mr. Speaker, that she can do that. And Mr. Speaker, about regarding her and Honorable Soro, I think the House can make a timetable, Mr. Speaker, who becomes chief which week and which week they can share positions. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Elders.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
I mean, I've just given 5 this side, so you can be sure you're going to get 5 this side. So call your horses.
And I hope you will consider the time. Mr.
1
Speaker,
minute each.
Allow me to congratulate Honorable Millie. Honorable Millie, as a ranking member, has also been our chair as parliamentarians for global action. And I want to appreciate Millie as an astute, very pragmatic, and a quintessential debater and leader. And that's one thing that ODM has just realized, belated though. Mr. Speaker, that being the case, Standing Order 106, as read with Standing Order 19A, clearly refers to whether these issues are relevant, and 2, the issue of minority and majority is clearly spelled out under Standing Order. So will I be right to say that we are debating something that is extremely ought to have been discussed outside this house?
Thank you.
And secondly, Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Naomi Wako clearly said this, and she was not given an opportunity. Actually, what she's saying is what we are debating. And therefore, the issue of broad-based government is a rumor in this house.
Thank you.
It's a rumor that can only be attributed to outside. As parliamentarians, the structure still remains minority.
Thank you. Member for Bumula.
Indeed, Mr. Speaker, Honorable Millie is one of the outstanding debaters in this House. She's a person I've admired for very many years, even before I joined this House. She's a friend I've known for some time. We share common friends. Yeah, I've admired her debating skills. And I think, though belatedly, I think our minority party has done the right thing. And I have a lot of faith that Millie Odhiambo is going to steer our coalition to greater heights. In terms of Millie and Osoro, if you gave me these two, honestly, it's not rocket science. You put Millie Odhiambo here, you put Osoro here. Who is the best? Clearly, Millie Odhiambo stands out, and you cannot even debate.
Thank you. The Honorable Major Bashir.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. First and foremost, I want to take this opportunity to congratulate Honorable Millie. Honorable Millie is also a ranking member in the Defense, Intelligence and Foreign Relations Committee. And I can attest that she's equal to the task, and she's a performer. And I want to tell her that the sky is the limit, and to continue. On matters of minority majority, we follow the standing orders, which is very, very clear. I talked about minority side and majority side. Anything outside the standing orders is something that we can discuss outside this House. So I think let us congratulate Millie as the minority chief whip, and welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, I think the Honorable Millie needed recognition as the minority whip. And I think we've done enough of that. Not so. We needed to congratulate Millie. We've done so. And I think the matter should rest there. As far as standing order number 20 is concerned, if there are two people who people assume are married, but they all insist they are not married, why do you insist that they are married when they are saying they're not married? I mean, we had BBI, now we had BBG, but like the Honorable Adan has said, all that is rumors. This House was guided by the Speaker on the 7th of August, which is last week, on the leadership of the minority side. And I refer you to Communication number 41 of 2024 that was delivered last week by the Honorable Speaker about the minority side appointing the Honorable Junet and the Honorable Millie as the minority leader and minority whip respectively. That is the order of leadership in the minority, and that remains the law and the position. Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Honorable members, we have honorable members who have questions and statements. I will start with just request that you be alert. We start with the member for Manyata. Just hold on. Members who are requesting statements, we start with the member for Kandara. The Honorable Chege Njuguna, MP. You can use the mic next to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I raise to request for a statement on the appointment and conduct of the chairperson of Betting Control and Licensing Board. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Standing Order 44.2C, I wish to request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding the appointment and conduct of the chairperson of Betting, Control and Licensing Board, one Mrs. Jane Muikari Makau. Honorable Speaker, Mrs. Jane Muikari Makau was appointed as the chairperson of the Betting, Control and Licensing Board on 20th December 2022. She also served as the director of the National Water Harvesting and Storage Authority and also as the chairperson of the Strategy, Technical and Business Development Committee for the same board. Honorable Speaker, her appointment is in contravention of a court ruling in the Employment and Labor Relations Court, Course number 3 of 2022, where the court held that a person serving as a full-time public officer is not eligible to serve in any other public office. Further, the spouse to Mrs. Tuan, Ms. Jane Muikari, Apostle Dr. Karis Owanze, Tommy, was charged on 14th April 2023 with defrauding a Korean businessman of Kenya shillings 54 million in a fake gold transaction. The relation raises questions as to the conduct of the chairperson. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Article 10 of the Constitution, all persons, including state officers and public officers, are bound by the national values and principles of governance as per the Constitution. Honorable Speaker, on 22nd February 2024, were accompanying Mr. Fred Afune, Director of Priaco Technology Limited, trading as Shabiki.com, to an official round of water tanks in Makueni County. Mrs. Jane Muikari, in her speech, Honorable Speaker, lauded the move and invited other betting companies to emulate the same gesture. Honorable Speaker, her action not only amounts to conflict of interest, but also contravenes the Constitution. Additionally, Honorable Speaker, noting that the Finance Action Task Force, the global anti-money laundering watchdog, recently included Kenya on the list of grey listed countries. There is anxiety that a number of people may use gambling as a means of laundering money, thereby jeopardizing the economy of the country. Honorable Speaker, it is against this backdrop that I seek a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the following. Honorable Speaker, number one, could the Minister of Interior and National Administration expound on the measures being, if any, taken to address the appointment of the chairperson, which is in contravention of the court ruling in course number 3 of 2022. Honorable Speaker, number two, could the ministry provide the mechanisms put in place to avert cases of conflict of interest in the board? I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable members, because of the number of requests today, we will not allow members to comment on those requests. The next member who has a request is a member for North Hor, Honorable Ade Wario. Sorry. The Honorable Russell. Before we move to member for North Hor, this is direct to your committee.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I heard what my honorable colleague has presented as a statement. It borders on a civil case, but also it talks about court ruling. I think as a committee we will have to sit first of all, but we will also not delay. We will dispatch it to the ministry, and then we'll give the House feedback as soon as we come from the recess, the second week after recess, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Njuguna, is that okay with you?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I agree with my Honorable Member Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So 2 weeks after we resume from recess, member for North Hor.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to request for a statement regarding the brutal and senseless killings of innocent and peace-loving Kenyans along Kenya-Ethiopian border. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to provision of Standing Orders 44-2C, I wish to request for statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security regarding the recent tragic attack on civilians along Kenya-Ethiopian border in Marsabit County. Honorable Speaker, on Monday, 12th August 2024, at around 23 hours, a horrific incident occurred between Eledimtu and Forole along the Kenya-Ethiopian border in Northern Constituency, Marsabit County. A group of unidentified gunmen ambushed a truck transporting food supply from Nairobi to Turkana, resulting in death of at least 8 Kenyans and leaving one sustaining multiple and life-threatening injuries. The assailant sent the truck ablaze, burning the bodies of the victims beyond recognition. Such acts of violence not only result in the loss of lives, but also disrupt livelihoods, destruction of property, and threaten the social norms of our communities. The potential of Marsabit County and its people cannot be realized under the shadow of insecurity. It is imperative that our approach to policing and security in this region evolves from being reactive to proactive and preventive. Honorable Speaker, it is against this backdrop that I request for a statement from the chairperson of the Departmental Committee on Administration and Internal Security on the following. 1, a detailed account of the attack, including the current set of investigation, those who are involved, and why. Number 2, long-term security measures being implemented to prevent such incidences from recurring, including strategies for enhanced border surveillance and community policing. And finally, any assistance provided to the victims of the families and the injured, as well as plans for long-term support and compensation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I am personally aware of what Honorable Ade is presenting, the MP for Northern. The ministry and the national government is actually already seized with this matter, but the points he has requested, I think the committee will deal with it, and I think we'll be able to do it as soon as it's practically possible. But the ministry is already seized with it, Honorable Speaker.
Are there timelines?